Embrace the world around you and develop a love for yourself with Simple Soul Creating You. Amy Holst and Tasha Fritz cut through this crazy life with humorous personal stories, research, and practical tips in an effort to simplify life and help empower you to become connected to your real thoughts and feelings. Love your simple soul.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Tasha.
And it's Amy.
How you been?
Good. It's first of the year, New Year's resolutions. I read somewhere or saw in a book or heard on a book, I can't remember which way I did it, that like 20% of the population who makes New Year's resolutions actually do them past January. So that means 80%.
Right.
80% of people drop off after 30 days.
Quite honestly, that doesn't surprise me. Does that surprise you?
Well, you know, from a working out standpoint, because I've been around that gig for a lot of years and I've seen a lot of New Year's resolutions, that doesn't surprise me because I've seen people drop off after January. But kind of maybe a little bit in other venues.
What is your New Year's resolution, Amy?
Okay, so I do they're all connected to working out, which they probably should be connected to something else.
Which you already do on a regular basis.
Yeah,
so.
but I'm more intentional for the month of January. I'm setting a goal for the month versus, and that's the other thing too that they talk about when you're going to set goals, don't make them like death sentences forever, right? So I'm doing a mile a day in January.
Okay.
Each week I have to have 10 miles in, so that means I have to have a longer run somewhere. And then I will go 5 days a week of a workout, so I'll do some other things. So 5 days a week, I'll get my 1 mile run in with additional other runs. I probably really should have done some around being a better person, but I was afraid I wouldn't last longer than January. So
it's like,
honestly,
it's like giving up something you hate for life.
So basically, I enhanced what I currently already can do comfortably and well.
Nice, very good.
That's bad, isn't it?
Well, whatever.
Okay, what's yours?
You know, I really didn't set one. I participated in the last 90-day challenge. If anybody's familiar with that, it was Rachel and Dave Hollis's last 90 days where you set your goals you go out the last 90 days of the year with as much intention as typically people start the year.
Okay.
So my last 90-day challenge goal was to stop eating fast food because it's really convenient when I go get groceries with the kids to stop and get fast food and take it home or whatever. So that's been...
Which is crazy because we live in Clayton County. And for people that don't know where we live in a county that in the state of Iowa, it's one of the few counties, might be the only county that has no fast food drive-through and has no stoplights. Right. So we live very rural.
And I shouldn't say just fast food.
Where are you getting fast food from?
Well, one town I go to, or two towns I go to, but not even just fast food. Like, it's so easy on a Tuesday afternoon to say, you know what, I'm not going to cook supper, I'm going to go grab pizzas.
Yes.
Or, you know, hey,
Subway.
We're going to go get Subway or whatever. So just less buying of food pre-made to bring home to the family and to me. And the other one, I had gotten on a really bad habit this fall of drinking a lot of coffee from...
Oh, I thought you were going to say alcohol.
No, I'm good with that. But just like coffee that's full of sugar and fat. And so I decided no bought-in coffees, except my sister bought me one the other day, which was so kind of her. So I did accept that.
For it.
No, right. Yeah. So that I'm going to try to continue that twofold. They're better. It's better on my health and it's better on my pocketbook too. So.
Okay, so I guess we did do one this year as a family, kind of. We revamped in like October or November. We looked at our finances for the year and we made a total tight budget categories for the whole 2019. So I guess that is one thing we did, but I don't know if that really counts or not. The other thing I thought about doing, but then I talked myself out of it, was I thought about being alcohol-free for the month of January.
I thought about that too.
You
My
did?
brother-in-law is doing that.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say for 1 month only they don't drink. But then I decided I just wouldn't do it during the week, which I don't usually drink during the week anyway. So
again,
here I am. I set a goal that I can be successful with.
Well, maybe we'll do February.
Oh, I'm taking a vacation in February.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll do February.
Well, let's do March, maybe.
Okay. Well,
actually, we probably could still do January.
We're
only on January.
And go 8 days into February, or six days into February. When's your vacation?
I could do that.
Okay.
End of February.
Well, maybe we'll do that.
Okay. All right. So stay tuned. Our next podcast will tell you if we haven't had a drop of alcohol.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
But today's podcast is not about New Year's resolutions, although we hope that you've set some goals for yourself and you're looking into a bright 2019. But we are here today to talk to you about work.
We are. Work.
And why people work and why they take their work home and
what do you get out of it?
What do you get out of it, and why maybe we find more satisfaction in work than we do at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we say work, both Amy and I work outside the home, but that doesn't matter.
Yep.
We want you to stop for a second and think about what you define as your work. That could be in the home, it could be outside the home, it could be as a stay-at-home mom, what you define as work. And we don't have that perspective, so take what we say and put it into your platform, into what you define as work.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yep.
All right, so why do people work so hard? Why do you work so hard?
You know, I think when we were kind of talking through this podcast, I'm like, why do I work so hard? Like, what do you get out of it? And I think partly I work so hard because I was taught to have this good work ethic. And I feel like if you grind hard all day and you give it everything you got, partly it's probably a self-fulfillment, but it's probably also, I wonder sometimes if it's to show other people too that you're a hard worker.
Yeah.
Like obviously that's a characteristic trait that's important to me, for people to think that I'm a hard worker, which is probably why I work so hard. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think, and I was sharing this with you earlier, and I think this just makes sense in my profession. I'm in the profession of education, so it's easy for me to say I work hard for the kids. And I do. I truly do work hard for the kids. Like, I love children. So I work hard for them. I work hard because it makes me feel good to work hard. I feel good when others recognize that I make a difference. But on the other side of that, I also work really hard because I have bills to pay.
Yeah.
You know, I think we can't ignore that. Like, I can't say I come to work just because I love what I do. Although I do love what I do, I still need the paycheck to come home. I couldn't, if I didn't get paid tomorrow for this job, I couldn't continue to do this job. Right. Like, even though I love it, because I have people at home that depend on me to pay the bills. So that is probably twofold for me. I love what I do. I feel satisfied. I get to make an impact on children. And I also get to pay the bills.
Well, and I think when you talk about that whole satisfaction, I mean, it's a different satisfaction receiving feedback from somebody at work, or somebody out in the field, or somebody around the content or the same topic area that we're talking about, than it is at home.
Yeah.
For me. And sometimes I don't know that I've ever thought much about that until I was having a conversation with another colleague around the satisfaction that you get from home versus your satisfaction at work. And they're different satisfactions to me.
Yeah, well, and I think we get feedback differently too. Like, you and I get feedback from our colleagues, from teachers, from...
Because we interact with a lot of people.
So we get our feedback from people.
Yes.
Right? But if you were in sales, your feedback would maybe be the number of sales you've made this year or whatever, or this quarter. But the feedback at home usually it's not always positive. It's not always like, wow, you did a great job on this meal, Mom. It's like, oh, we have to have this tonight. That, that's sometimes the feedback that we get. Or nobody ever says, gosh, thanks, Mom, for folding the laundry and putting it away. It's, hey, where's my basketball uniform? Yeah. Kind of thing.
And I think, my husband would probably say that I'm a different person. Not probably. He would say that I am a different person at home than I am at work. Like, he would say, people comment that you're happy and you're bubbly and da-da-da-da, and you come home and I don't see that side all the time. And I'm like, I also don't come home to a home that always, like, when I got to go home and do 4 loads of laundry and the supper's waiting and we got to hurry and get out the door to a ball game or something else, I don't bring my best self all the time. Sometimes I do walk in stressed and frazzled, and we don't have a plan for supper, and we got to be out the door in 20 minutes, and we don't have fast food restaurants to drive through. Or if we did, we're not utilizing like the subway or whatever. So I don't always bring my best self home, but I almost always bring my best self to work. Yeah. And so there's definitely a disconnect to that, and the fulfillment that sometimes I get out of my day job, sometimes I don't always turn my lens to get that same fulfillment out of my night job and my night. And I say job, and I don't mean that because I feel like my family's a job. No. But the reality is I got laundry, I got dishes, I got to get the book bags ready. I mean, we got to read, we got to get math worksheets done, or whatever else comes our way. Right. That all has to be done in such a tiny amount of hours before we start all over again the next day. So I do think that what we're going to talk about in a little bit is going to be really beneficial to, I hope, everybody else out there who feels the way that I do at times,
Mhm.
not just to me.
Mhm.
But I do think fulfillment is different at times, and I don't allow that same fulfillment to be at home that I do at the day job.
Mhm. So let's go there. So one of the articles that, well, a lot of the articles that we read, trying to figure out why it is that we get more fulfillment at work potentially than we do at home. A lot of them alluded to this idea of the expected versus the unexpected, which really hit home for me, and I think for you too.
Mm-hmm.
When we're at work or when you're at work, some things are expected. There are some things that have to get done, checklist items, paperwork that has to get done, whatever, right? But there are opportunities for the unexpected, for a client to call and have a request, or a new sale to come in, or a new customer to come in, or a new house listing to come your way. Those unexpected things.
A nice email,
whatever it is, right? Like those unexpected things provide excitement and joy and fulfillment. That doesn't always happen at home, right? Like our checklist is already there. Our checklist is the laundry, it is the dishes, it is the basketball game. We don't always have the opportunity for the unexpected, or we don't maybe invite the opportunity.
I think that's it right there.
Unexpected.
I think when we talk about what gives you joy, and that whole, I don't always bring joy home because I don't stop and think on the drive home, boy, what would it be like tonight if we had an unexpected night? And I said, you know what? Forget laundry, forget school, forget everything. We're just going to sit and have popcorn and play games all night. I mean, do we do that once in a while?
Yeah.
Rarely. I mean, we do it, but it's not, we have more expected than unexpected moments, I would say, at my house.
Mine too. And we were thinking about this, and as I've been reflecting, I've been thinking, what little pieces of unexpected can we bring into the night? Because it's not realistic for every night to be like, oh, forget the laundry, we're not cooking tonight, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We all have things that need to get done just for simple maintenance of our lives, right? Like it has to get done. But what parts of it can we create the unexpected in? You know, like my little guy, when we do laundry, he likes to jump on the bed. So would it not be unexpected for me to get on the bed and jump with him for a couple of seconds and then ask him to help me with his laundry and then jump back on the bed? Like that little bit of unexpected can go a long way, I think.
Yeah.
I forget to do that.
I do too.
Sometimes. Yeah. Or asking the kids to crack the eggs.
Right.
But I don't want to mess. So let the unexpected come in so that the expected doesn't seem.
And I think even like one thing we do every night is we have a dishwasher, but for whatever reason, my OCD tendencies has to wash the blender bottles and the. I have to wash some things by hand. I just do. They're just not dishwasher friendly. So every night I do a hot tub of water because I also want to wash the table off and the counter, and I want to make sure that it's a clean wash rag with soapy water. So what about if I took the suds and just flinged it at my boys who are older now, who know that wouldn't be an appropriate thing to do all the time, but wouldn't that catch them off guard? I mean, wouldn't they be like, wow, actually they probably would say, what happened to our mom?
Where'd she go?
Suds don't cost anything. They don't hurt anything.
Right.
It's just a suds. Why don't I just don't even think about doing that.
Yeah, I don't either. Because I'll be totally honest. I get freaked out. Well, I said this to my family yesterday. If I don't get the floors cleaned, and this was actually before breakfast. I was cooking breakfast, and I'm like, if I don't get the floors cleaned soon, Mom's going to freak out. Right? Like, I'm going to have a meltdown. And my husband so sweetly says, well, we'll put on some socks. Because he believes I can just feel the dirt on my bare feet, and I like bare feet. And I'm like, no, I'm not putting on socks. I hate socks. Like, that would, I'd freak out over that, right? So he goes, just go put some shoes on. Fine, I'll go put my shoes on. And I did, but then I swept and mopped the floors before I fed them breakfast. Well, take a breath, right? And just
let it
put
go.
my shoes on and feed breakfast to the kids. But
yes.
I was just in a point of almost freak out, like the floors just were not where they need to be.
It's hard because the other piece of that we were talking about earlier was you talked about the calm.
Yeah.
Like that brings you a sense of
It
calm.
does.
And I hadn't thought about it that way until you said it earlier today. Whatever your calm is, and mine also is coming home to a clean house or sitting down at the end of the night and not having stuff everywhere that I can see the floor and I can enjoy sitting down. So that's my calm. And then I think, is that their problem or is that my problem? Partly I say it's my problem, but then partly I think, no, it's not. Everybody should pitch in to help out.
Right.
that it shouldn't be me. Well, everybody sits on the couch watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it's trying to find that balance. But I really think when you go back to all the things around love languages and everything else, they always say if you expect somebody to do something for you, you need to do it first. And so maybe if you had the unexpected fun with jumping on the bed, then maybe people would be more willing to help fold the laundry. And if I flung the dish soap, maybe people would want to jump in and help me because I'm actually fun for the moment.
Right. Well, you read my mind there, because as I was listening to you talk and as I was reflecting on this whole need to have the house tidy so I can feel a sense of calm, I never would have thought that maybe one of my love languages is acts of service, because I definitely am a words of affirmation person. But acts of service probably does fall pretty high as I'm sitting here talking this through, because I've had the conversation with my kids before, like, hey, mommy loves you. And they're like, we love you too. How do you know mommy loves you?
Yeah.
And the kids will always say, because you tell us all the time, or because you give us kisses. And then there are times that I say to the kids, I know that you love me. One way that you can show me that you love me is by helping me around the house. And so that right there, I'm just not even intending to, but I'm telling them that I need your act of service so that I can see that,
and I think
you're showing love.
I think what we probably need to do a podcast on is the love languages and talk about what does it mean for adults and kids. You and I both have done this before in the past. I think that could be really powerful for our listeners to understand when we're talking about, acts of services or gifts or words of affirmation. What does that really mean? And once you know what somebody else's is, because I would agree with you, mine for sure is the tidy house, and probably more than even words of affirmation. But and I do think there is a sense of fulfillment that you get sometimes from the day job that seems easier in some ways than going home to the night job, I'm going to call it again. And I don't mean that bad.
The night shift.
The night shift. So anyhow.
Switch out your uniform and get prepared. Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, we can't just get rid of our night job.
No.
Nor do we want to.
No, we don't.
Nor do we want to.
That's the one thing that we talked about.
Yeah.
Like, I say that, and yet I wouldn't change some of those things in my life because that means I have a healthy family that's contributing. And there's a lot of things about my life that I'm so thankful for. We've had adversity in my life not that long ago, and I wouldn't do it different, but it doesn't mean that it's still not frustrating to me at times.
Right. So one of the things that I try to do, I was telling this to Amy earlier, I try to do, but it's not always on the forefront of my mind before I just about snap, is to try to find, like, to be grateful for the opportunity to do the chore. Yeah. And I hate the word chore. I told it to my kids earlier this week. Like, I don't like the word chore because it feels like a have to when it really is. It should be an opportunity to be thankful for what we have. So laundry is probably my least favorite. If I can tell myself I'm thankful or I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to even fold 3 little people's laundry, because I am so lucky and so blessed to have 3 little people in my life. And I wouldn't want that any other way.
Well, and I go one step further too. You're healthy enough as a person to be able to do that.
Right,
so,
for sure.
Like, think of the moms out there that don't have that opportunity to be able to use their extremities, or they have constant pain in some places that they can't do those things. And it's like reframing your lens. And I can do that when somebody reminds me to do that. But my everyday, like in the grind, I don't always think about reframing.
Right. Yeah. So we're going to have to, like,
yes, for sure,
drop in on eavesdrop and be a part, just constantly be reminding everybody. And the other thing too is to have these conversations with the women in your lives, because you're not alone out there. If you're feeling frustrated, or if you're feeling, that you're snapping on your kids or telling them to pick their shit up like the rest of us do. The rest of us are doing it too. Like, there's no one
and like
perfect.
We talked about earlier, I don't post a lot, but when I post, they're usually normal or nice pictures. Not because I want people to think I have a fake life, but I don't want to. If I were to post some real nights in my household, my family would be mad, and I'd be mad if my husband posted real nights with me too sometimes, because I think the reality is we all have them. Yeah. I don't have the perfect life. I'm nowhere near the perfect life. You don't have the perfect life. We talk about our lives, but it's nice to know that other people have the same life that you have, and it's okay. Right. We're all in this together.
And I'm not proud of my breakdown moments or my snapping moments, but I also am in a place where I can recognize that I'm not alone, and that having somebody to talk to, reach out to your girlfriends and have a glass of wine or a cup of coffee and share these stories and be authentic about them, because they can support you in knowing that you're normal.
Yeah.
And then they can also remind you to be grateful.
And actually, sometimes they can one-up your story, which
Right.
is even better because you're like,
Exactly.
I haven't been there yet, but I probably could go there, So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was maybe one way to start to find some satisfaction at home, is to just maybe flip your mindset. One thing, though, I read this article of a lady who works outside the home, and this, again, it doesn't matter if you do or don't. You could use the same kind of routine if it works for you. She said that she found that when she had meetings or high stress, intense conversations at the end of the day, that she took that work home, and then she was stressed at home, or she continued to work at home and wasn't able to give her attention to the people and the things at home that needed her. So one of the things that she did was she started to not schedule meetings the last hour or two of the day, and to not have high intense conversations. Well, you can't always control that, but if that's something in the back of your mind on an ongoing basis, like, how can I close the last hour of my day doing work that I need to get done, wrapping up my day, setting my intentions for the next day, preparing for the next day, so that maybe you don't have to bring that stuff home, that could be helpful. And again, I know I can't do that every day. I know you can't do that every day. We were just talking earlier that on Friday we were walking out the door side by side with somebody else, still talking about work, which led to more work. Send yourself an email quick before you drive. Yeah. But keeping that in mind on any days that it's possible to kind of frame your mind that way.
I mentioned to you earlier that Daniel Pink also has something out there where he talks about, even 5 minutes. If you close your door for the last 5 minutes and you sit and you reflect on 3 things that went really well, or that there's actually a website called I Done This.
Okay.
Or I done that, I done this, I done that. And where you go on and you log what you did during the day, instead of always having your to-do list of what I have to do. Maybe you have that as well, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But you also reflect and celebrate the things that you did get done. Because sometimes you go home at night feeling so heavy, like, I still have 10 more things to do. But if you go back and look at your day, you accomplished like 50 things and you have 10 more things to do. Well, then suddenly you feel a little more successful than all I do is have 10 more things to do at night that I never got done, when really I got 50 done and I only have 10 left. Like, again, it's reframing the mindset.
Yeah.
I would say that we were talking about Post-its and to-do lists and writing your stuff down. One of the things that I had read a few years back, which I think I'm more successful at, is my Sunday list morning can get really long right off the bat. And so it talked about how you should only pick 5 things. So I make a master list of everything I need to do. Then I pick the top priorities and then put that on the list. And as you get those done, you throw the Post-it away one by one, and then you go back to the master list. Because the other thing that I think is defeating is, if I have 10 things on my list, and let's say I got 3 done, but they were 3 really big tasks.
Right.
I look at that on Sunday night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I still got all those to do. And it's like, but the 3 you picked were like 7 hours of tasks versus these other ones that would only take you another hour now. So how do you decide what goes on your to-do list? And, would you be better to have a long running to-do list and then only carry over the ones that you think you can accomplish that day?
Right.
I don't know. What do you guys do?
I don't know. I think that depends on how you feel after you run your list too.
Yeah.
You try a few things out. I just make a list, and I usually keep it to 5 or 7 things. And the kids have started making lists. Even my 4-year-old, I sit down and Saturday morning, here, what are we going to accomplish today? Sunday morning, what are we going to accomplish today? And we put even those mundane things on the list. Like today it was lay out your clothes for the week.
Yeah.
So that we're prepared for the week, right? It's make your bed. For my 4-year-old, make your bed.
Yeah.
And that is success then, and they get to feel success in those little tasks. And I really feel like that prepares them to be a grown-up, recognizing that these are all things that need to get done. And when they're accomplished, we get to check them off our list. And how you prioritize, we talk through that. We talk about when do we get to take a break. And if they take a break, we set a timer so they go right back to work. My 9-year-old, she loves school, but she hates to do homework. And so, what part of your homework is going to be this task? What part of your homework is going to be this task? And how can we break it apart?
Yeah.
It seems to work for us. My husband's a list maker too. And so that just works for us because we're both list makers. And just naturally, we've just trained the kids to be list makers.
I'm laughing because I'm a list maker too, but I'm going to make fun of it now for a moment. And I'm going to say the list maker would be, remember to hug each other.
Yes.
We better give each other a kiss before we go to bed.
Exactly.
You can take your list too far.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. And we've taken sticky notes to an extreme too.
Yeah.
Almost. When I walked upstairs this morning after the kids laid out their clothes and they have sticky notes on each one that
Yes.
say which day they're going to wear which one. And I'm like, oh, breathe. You know, we don't have to be that
Yes.
rigid, but hey, if that makes them feel like they're in a little bit more
Yeah.
control,
Yeah.
part of me feels like that's totally
And
okay
if you
too.
look at some of the research on
Mhm.
building confident kids,
Mhm.
like that's part of it, is
Mhm.
that we allow them to become independent
Mhm.
in small things so they're successful.
Yeah.
Because when they feel success at a young age, they will continue to grow on that. So
Right.
I actually think that's a great idea. We
Yeah.
don't do lists much, but I think we probably should do more. So I think that's a really good idea.
Well, when I come over and I see sticky notes all over the place with lists.
Yeah, now we're going to
I'll
have to
laugh at
list. Call Tasha to be my friend.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Exactly. All right. So
Great.
we challenge you just to find some
Yeah.
unexpected things that you can
Mhm.
throw into those expected
Yep.
tasks to smile, to laugh more.
Yes. And if you
to
find that
lighten
you
up.
thrive all day long during the day and you're not thriving at night at home,
Mhm.
what is it about your day job that's making you thrive, and how do you carry that into your nightlife? And maybe there's something that has to be cut out of thriving during the day so you can actually thrive with the people that are most important
Yeah.
with you at night.
Exactly.
So.
All right. Well, we're glad you're here with us.
Thanks for cutting through this crazy life with us. Head on over to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play.
And YouTube, if you're
YouTube,
a listener and you want to watch us on
Facebook.
YouTube. Yep.
We're everywhere anymore.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
Until next time.
love your simple soul.
Thank you for listening in. Head on over to iTunes or Google Play to give Simple Soul a rating and review. Show notes and resources can be found on Facebook, Twitter, and our blog. Feel free to comment and share your thoughts. Also, like Simple Soul on Facebook and follow on Twitter and become part of their tribe. Love your simple soul.